y'all doing? Well, today is November the 11th, 2016. This is Veterans Day. And I just wanted to share a few thoughts, a few stories with you, a few observations, and I might get a little long-winded, but by God, it's my channel. But anyway, first I'd like to thank everyone that takes the time to watch my videos, takes the time to subscribe and share and tell their friends. That means the world to me, and I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. And as far as these drawings, heck, in 1 week we done jumped up 270, 280 of the 500 we need to have another drawing, so it won't be long. We'll give you another chance to get one in a shirt. Speaking of that, Adirondack, New York, you need to send me your size and your address, buddy. I know you recognize that you won. You got so excited you didn't tell me how to get it to you. Anyhow, I just wanted to share a few thoughts about Veterans Day. After watching these libtards doing this protesting at night in them cities, you know, just because they don't like who got elected president. You know, he's becoming a very good friend of mine. We'll call him Trader Joe. He watches my videos. He's a subscriber, and he sent me a meme, and I'm going to put it right here. I thought that's funny as hell. Crybaby crats. Oh my God. But that's about the way it is. You know, they can't carry on a decent conversation. But I wanted to tell you about honoring veterans. And I want to talk to you about, I want to tell you a couple of stories about my dad, who served in World War II and the Korean War. And I want to tell you, you know, a few things about me. And I guess, hell, my thoughts are running 100 miles an hour. So let me just start off and tell you about my dad. My dad passed in 2001. He went deer hunting January 3rd, and he passed away sitting in his truck, had a heart attack. Or in his Jeep, he was just sitting there, and they found him the next morning. Anyway, my dad, he was 17 years old, right off the farm, green as a gourd. In Middle Tennessee, there just wasn't any industry in the South. Your industries were up north, Chicago, Detroit, Toledo, Ohio, you know, Pennsylvania. You know, up north was where all the steel mills and all the big industry was at that time. So at 17 years old, he got his mama to sign for him, and he went off into the Navy. And he got a job, or his job in the Navy was an electrician. And he told me about the time that he was assigned to a destroyer, and he was working on the telephone system that was on the ship. And he was in the forecastle. He's in the very front of the ship. Well, he had his earphones on, trying to work on the telephone system. When the captain calls out over the intercom, everybody astern. They were about to intercept a Japanese torpedo with the nose of their ship. They were in a flotilla, they was in a convoy, I don't know what you, armada, I don't know what you call it, where there's a, you know, a whole bunch of ships going, but they were escorting aircraft carriers. And so the captain of the ship deliberately took a torpedo hit. Unbeknownst to my 17-year-old daddy. Well, he wasn't my daddy yet. He had on his Mae West life jacket, and he said it blew him out of that ship. I mean, blew him out of the ship. And he ended up floating out there in the ocean for 36 hours. Till somebody finally come by and picked him up. He said it was quite a show, you know, all the shooting and the you know, the landmine, or not landmines, the depth, you know, the depth charges and all that going on. And he said it was quite a ordeal. And he said all you do is just lay out there and float around. But he never got recognized as far as, you know, any type of award or medal or anything for something like that. One thing about these awards and medals that men and women receive, it's only if their supervisor will take the time to write it up for them. I've seen so many people do wonderful things, but because their supervisor was too lazy or too jealous, the person never got recognized. Anyway, he came back from World War II, and then ended up going back and volunteering and going to Korea, was in the Korean conflict, Korean War. And he come back, married my mom, and about 10 months later, here I show up, and he was working for the telephone company in Chicago, and they had a basement apartment about, I looked it up, it was about 9 miles from downtown Chicago. And the reason I want to talk about Chicago is he worked the evening shift, and when he got off work at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, heading home, a guy jumped in the car with him at a stoplight, stuck a gun in his ribs, and says, "You take me to Texas." I said, "Sure, man, sure. Easy, don't panic, you know, no problem." He said he got out on the interstate, what we call an interstate now. Well, they call it then freeway, parkway, I don't know. Anyway, he got out there where he knew the police was real bad about catching people speeding. And he says he just eased the speed up to about 85 miles an hour. And sure enough, here comes this rookie cop on a motorcycle. Whee! So the guy starts panicking, and they said, be cool, I got it, it's all right, man, relax. And he said he pulled over, opened the door, grabbed that guy's wrist and that gun, and drug him out of the driver's side, knocked the gun away from him, and beating the shit out of him. And the cop comes up, sticks a gun to my dad's head. Anyway, about 6 o'clock in the morning, they finally get it all figured out. That guy was AWOL from the Army. My dad's boss vouched for him and said, yeah, he was on his way home. And 6 o'clock in the morning, my dad walks in the little basement apartment where we lived and says, pack your shit. We're getting the hell out of Chicago. This ain't no place to raise a kid. Well, what made me think about that is watching on the TV today, some white guy getting a shit beat, some 50-year-old man, white guy getting a shit beat out of him by 4 niggers. That's right, I said niggers, I didn't say black people. 4 niggers jump this white man and are beating the living shit out of him because he voted for Trump. Now, folks, that's a fucking nigger. And I guarantee you, we need a lot more people toting a damn pistol on them. That just pissed me off when I seen that. Anyway, Uh, want to tell you a little bit about me joining the military. I joined February 24th, 1976. The draft had been over before my 18th birthday, which was in August of 57. August 57 was my birthday. And so in 1975, they stopped the draft just before my 18th birthday, so I didn't have to register, but I ended up volunteering. Anyway, quite honestly, I went in to get my GI Bill. I wasn't applying myself like I knew I could to my college work. And consequently, I wasn't making the grades I knew I was capable of. So I figured, hell, I'll join the Air Force. I'll see a little bit of the world. I'd get the GI Bill. Then come back 4 years more mature and then go to school. Of course, my dad says, oh no, you'll never do it, you'll never do it. Well, I'm proud to say I'm the first male in my family I know of that ever graduated college, so I'm proud of that. My dad sure was. But it was my first hitch. It was spending time in basic training and all that, learning about the history of our military and learning a bit more in detail about the history of our country and what all we've been through, that helped give me a lot of pride in our country. And that's one thing that every veteran you'll meet, save maybe half of 1%, every veteran you'll meet is proud to say that they're an American, and proud to say that they're an American veteran. I feel for the guys that come back from Vietnam and were treated like shit. And I got a neighbor and he still ain't got over it. You know, called baby killers and spit on and piss throwed on them and all kinds of stuff. It was horrible. But most all veterans will tell you that they're proud to be an American veteran. Now I personally didn't feel like a veteran. Here's my dad, you know, he'd been to war, and I considered him a veteran, but not me. And finally in 2006, I had the opportunity. This is 30 years after I first joined. In 2006, I had the opportunity to go to Iraq. And I served 2 tours in Iraq. And when I come back, then I felt like a veteran then, because I had actually done what I had been trained to do all these years. And I'm very lucky, man. I never had to pull the trigger on my weapon at another person. So, I really feel for the boys and the men that had to do that. I was a very, very lucky individual that I did not have to kill anyone. There's a lot more to serving in the military than just being on the front lines as an infantryman. There's so much support that has to be done. So I'm very lucky that I don't have nightmares or whatever of stuff like that. But what I wanted to tell you is, you know, I see all these people say, well, we support our vets, we support our veterans, we support our vets. And I came back home and I saw these yellow magnet stickers, yellow magnets in the yellow ribbon thing, you know. It said, we support our troops. You know, that they bought down at the convenience store owned by some Middle Easterner that talks like this, thank you very much, you come back now, you here. You know, and damn magnet made in China. It says, we support our troops. And I asked people, I said, I see your magnet there. How do you support your troops? What do you mean? Well, you said, we support our troops. What do you do? Oh, I support our troops. I said, how? It gets them to thinking. And I hope I get you to thinking if you're not a veteran. You know, how do you support your troops? When a soldier is overseas, one of the main thing he is worried about is his family. I even told my wife, I said, I was in Baghdad, my last tour, And I told her, I said, shit. I said, I worry more about you driving to Nashville than I do me being in Baghdad. So, you know, if a soldier knows that his family's been taken care of, he can do his job a lot better. So I've suggested to people, if you know that little girl over there and her husband is off, serving in Afghanistan or wherever he may be, and she's got 2 kids in diapers or whatever, don't you think it'd be kind of a break for her to be able to go grocery shopping without having to take them kids? Just volunteer to watch her children, to give her a few hours break. That is supporting your troops. If you've got spouses that are here and their spouses are serving overseas in your church, what are you doing for those people? Don't just have a supper say, oh, we're having a Veterans Appreciation supper. That don't do shit. It really don't. Make an effort. Do something for them. You got a woman and her husband's gone, and this could be the other way around, but by and large, it's mostly the women at home and the men are serving. Although I served in the military with a lot of women in Iraq, but I don't want to get into all that. But anyhow, you got a lady at home and her husband is off serving. Offer to mow her yard. There's a lot of ways you can support our troops. There's a lot of ways you can support our troops. And it's just like I was asked, was I going to go to Applebee's today to eat because veterans eat free? No, I'm not into that. Now, if a restaurant that I normally go to, if they want to say, hey Bob, it's on us today, thank you for serving, well, that's fine. But I'm not going to seek out a restaurant chain that says, hey, if you're a veteran, we'll feed you for free today. I'm not into that. And it's just like whenever I check out at a grocery store or Walmart or whatever, and they give me my change or my receipt, I'll say, Merry Christmas. And they'll look at me, it'll be in July, and I'll say, hey, you got to keep that holiday spirit year round. Well, I just soon have a place of business offer me a veterans discount, military discount to shop at their store. And those that do, I do frequent quite often. Burger King, my local Burger King gives 10% off to the military. So, I want a fast food item, I'll go to Burger King. The local McDonald's used to, but now it's been taken over by private. It's no longer a corporate store, so I don't know if they do or not. One of my favorite Mexican restaurants does. And, it means something. It really does. And I know I'm rambling. But I want you to know that you can go out there and you can support your veterans by doing more than just saying Happy Veterans Day. Do something nice for somebody. You see an old man with a Korean War hat on, or World War II veteran hat on. You see him in line at Hardee's or McDonald's or whatever. Buy his meal. It only gonna cost you a couple of dollars. He'll appreciate it and you'll feel warm inside. Well, folks, thank you very much for listening to me rambling and share a few stories with you. I hope each and every one of y'all that are veterans, I hope all of you have a good day today, and I hope this entire year works out great for you. We're coming into the holiday season. Those of you that have lost loved ones, in military conflicts, I feel for you. Have a wonderful day and a better tomorrow. Bye.